What is often missing from the conversation about emotional immaturity is that people who are often the most emotionally immature people are often the people who experience the greatest trauma in childhood. And let me explain this a little bit. So just think about the word immaturity, okay? The word immature, the definition of it is that there is a lack of development. It can be youthfulness and it can also mean incomplete. And that lack of development is usually the lack of emotional development. Now, when you're at about the age of 2 years old, okay, the midbrain, which is the limbic system, is the emotional brain. And this is the part of the brain that starts to really take over and develop. Okay, that's why toddlers, 2 years old, are very emotional creatures. However, if you experience any kind of trauma, if you're growing up in an environment where it's really volatile, it's very chaotic, or where there's neglect, abuse, lack of presence, okay, what's going to happen is that development, that emotional development is going to be stunted. And as a nervous system practitioner, as a somatic practitioner, what I see in a lot of my clients who have a hard time containing and expressing difficult emotions like anxiety, anger, fear, frustration, sadness, shame, is that they were never modeled or given the opportunity of how to contain and express emotions. So they end up with a stunted nervous system, which is what we call a baby nervous system. They have what we refer to as baby physiology. So you often see this in adults who will, kind of boil over in rage or have a panic attack out of nowhere and seem irrational. They might completely shut down or run away. You see it with people who tend to give the silent treatment or just completely shut people off and to avoid conflict at all means. Now, this doesn't excuse the behavior, but it does explain the behavior, that this was likely due to, again, developmental experiences not being able to happen in those earlier years. So give me your thoughts on this. If you're someone who you would consider has maybe some emotional immature tendencies, did you experience any trauma in your first few years of life? Or if you know someone who you feel like is very emotionally immature, did they experience trauma? Let me know below.